I guess it's time for your love story. Let's love
Mine,
and review.
mine is really messed up, really complicated. I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure you yourself think about this, that really.
I have been support. I mean, I do support you in all of those situations as a friend. So
um.
yeah,
Okay. So I've been single until this year. This year, early this year,
just say yeah, pretty
and
much.
then in this year alone, it's gonna be shocking. I had 3 relationships and 3 breakups. But
Yeah, go on.
um those were good lessons. They were good
Good,
lessons.
good,
I won't talk
good.
about the first one because the first one actually really hit hard. Okay, so I'm just gonna talk about the second one and the
So
third one first.
second and third.
The second
Okay,
and the third.
second and third.
So the second one was actually a fling. Like, all of them are kind of fling lah. Okay, except for the first one.
You were basically filling up a void because
Yeah,
of the
yeah.
first. Yeah.
So the second one, he's older than me by 10 years. We met online as well, but then he lives somewhere near here, which is like about 30-minute drive. And at first we were like, okay, you wanna like meet up. I don't go out, so he naturally came over. I know that's a red flag. I know that's a red flag for
Little
someone
bit
to
as yeah, a
come
little bit.
over like as a first date or everything. But then
It
um
was COVID.
it was COVID, number one. Number two, he was, I wouldn't say he's a mistake, but then there were a lot of red flags actually that I missed.
Yeah.
But it was because I was trying to fill the void from the first one. So there were a lot of red flags. First of all, he smokes. That's one red
No,
flag.
no, big no. Especially
There
for
was,
you.
yeah, especially for me. I have a sensitivity to secondhand smokes. So it was a big no. I should have seen that. That was the first thing that should have gone. And then after that, there were other red flags like social status. That was is still okay actually, but the biggest one was him being dominant.
The ego factor.
Yeah, the ego factor. That was something that I really couldn't take. He's kind of okay. First context. He's Korean. He's Korean. So
Could you speak some
um,
Korean for the audience?
where do you want me to speak? Like, I don't know. 안녕하세요.
I had been in a relationship with a Korean guy.
한국 남자랑 사귀는 건 해본 적 있어요. Okay. We'll
Okay,
leave
continue.
we'll leave that to another time. Korean time is another time.
Yeah, continue.
But then, like, because this is like a stereotype, but I feel that it's actually true.
Okay.
Korean guys have an ego.
Right.
So he's like, he tries to pay. He wants to. We were like just like 2 weeks into the relationship, and then he will be like telling me, "Oh, I want to bring you on trips. I want to bring you to see my parents." And there was like, it was actually moving really fast.
Yeah.
Like it's pretty much a red flag because I'm someone who likes to take my time.
Yep.
I stay in my own circle a lot. I'm not the kind of person who likes to go travel here, travel there. But then he likes it.
And plus, it was quite new in the relationship.
Yeah,
as well.
yeah. So to suggest that, it's a bit, whoa, hold up.
It's invading your space.
Yeah, it's invading my space. And then also at one point we were like on Discord so often. At first I felt like it's fine, but then after some time I needed space. I like the kind of relationship where it's like you do your stuff, I do my stuff, and then maybe like after you got off work, after I'm free, we hang out together, video call, Discord for maybe an hour or two, and then after that, just really have good bonding time, and then go back to our own lives. That was the type that I think was ideal for me. But then I didn't realize it because he owns the restaurant, so he has the um
Schedules.
freedom.
Yeah,
He
the
has the
freedom.
freedom to, you know,
Play around.
play around a bit. But yeah, he was a good lesson because I kept thinking that, oh, I am more compatible with, I like people who are more matured. But then I realized that it gets like, it's matured. He's matured, like so matured, to the extent that it gets to me.
Yeah.
I need someone who's, you need to have that dynamic.
Yeah.
I'm someone who's serious. So I need someone who is
A bit more playful.
a bit more playful,
I
like
think
childish a
we
bit.
both look for childish. A bit more childish.
I mean, you can be mature. You know, when we need to talk, you can talk.
Exactly.
But
Communicate
yeah, but then we need someone who's not as serious as
as
us.
we are.
Yeah, as both of us all the time. So yeah, I realized that,
Yeah.
and then I also realized that I don't fit someone who is like dominant with an ego in himself.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was the second one. So and actually my mom disapproved it as well because of the age gap, number one,
Yeah.
social status and everything.
Understandable.
I mean, back then I was like kind of against it, but then after that, he knows my mom was against it.
Right.
But then when we broke up, it was because like of all the red flags, number one, and number two, my mom disapproved.
Yeah.
My mom actually saw it. Okay, my mom actually saw it coming.
She's a good
so
mom.
she's a good mom. Yeah. So she knew that we wouldn't be compatible and stuff.
Good
So
call. Good call.
yeah, so in a way my mom also influenced me. So I just told him no, this is not working out, so we need to stop. And it's just naturally 3 weeks, that's it. And then came the third one. The third one, he's also Korean. But then he lives in Australia. It's an online thing as well. It started off well. It was okay, he works. The time difference was about 2 hours. So when he has work as well, he's not his own boss, so he works, and then after that when he got off work, he'll be like, hey, let's call, let's hang out.
I remember he was quite a hardworking guy from my
Yeah,
experience. Yeah.
yeah. So like at first, like the first 1.5 week, he was okay, but then eventually it turned out he started being a bit distant and
He suddenly
stuff.
died down. His energy.
Yeah, it's like just suddenly he just died down. But then I thought it was like because he was sick. So I gave him his space. I told him, hey, it's okay if you're sick. I don't mind. And just want you to know that, the feelings are still there. I'm still here for you if you want to talk and all that. But then, yeah, it didn't work.
Yeah, and that was quite unfortunate because he also tried to reach out to me as a friend to see how he could connect with you.
Yeah, but let's agree that his emotional capacities
Wasn't there yet.
is just not
Yeah,
there.
he wasn't there yet, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's older by me by like 2 years or
Yeah,
so.
typical age. Typical.
Yeah, but then like the most failed part I would say was
the most disappointing one.
yeah, the most disappointing part was that because he's actually okay, just that he's not aware that it's his first relationship. He's not aware that things can be settled, you can communicate. I tried to reach out to him, tried to save it. Like I even reached out to our archive here to help, like
Mediate.
mediate like a talk or something, but then it just didn't work out. So when I tried to talk to him, he thinks that it's because I don't like him anymore, and he was just like, "Okay, break up." And I was like,
he takes the blame, or he takes things too personally.
"Yeah,
From
yeah,
what I have observed with you guys.
yeah." So I was like, "Okay, if you want to break up," I tried to salvage it, but then it didn't work. So the moment he said break up, I was like, "Okay, bye, thank you, next." And then he reached out again, wanting a second chance, and I gave him, and it still didn't work out. And I was like, okay, that's it. The second chance was I didn't really like I've already moved over him. So the second chance was actually for him to convince me in a way. Or like
Fair.
to
It's a fair one.
tell me like, you're worth it. If you want it, you have to work for it. Right?
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, you're the one who approached me for a second chance, so you have to work for it.
Yeah.
But he didn't. So I was like, it's waste of time. Bye.
Yeah, and being there with you at the time, it was very disappointing for one.
Yeah.
Definitely, I think that's the biggest one that I have to say for most of them. So I am very. I have to give you credit that you really handled it maturely. Of course, there's always room for improvement.
Yeah,
Though
definitely.
you really did improve, and I want to say that you did well in that situation. You had a really hard time. I know that, and you really hang in there with yourself, and you did do what you needed to do to stay sane, stay healthy.
I guess I'm a bit of the attached and clingy
Yeah,
that
yes,
kind of
yes,
person.
you are.
But I try to be a bit more, give him a bit
Secure.
more space. But then, how should I say it? I should have realized that it's his first relationship,
Yeah.
so he could have felt overwhelmed. He could have, there are a lot of things that he doesn't understand.
Yes.
So that was kind of like my mistake there a bit.
Not necessary. I think I would like just to introduce a little bit. Maybe it was a anxious, avoidant attachment style. Yeah.
Mm.
So like you being a little bit more anxious,
Yeah.
you tend to reach out more from what I remember,
Yeah.
and he's slightly on the avoidance side of things. So sometimes, like again, his first relationship, he's not socially aware of these sort of things or emotionally aware of it. Yeah. So
True.
sometimes it might come off overwhelming to him, and so he backs out like a deer in the headlight. Either he freezes. Yeah, I mean, honestly, he is a deer in the headlight. He just freezes there, and he doesn't know what to do, and then he just like he runs away. Right.
That is true. That is true.
And yeah, I mean, it's okay, and you've been healing really well,
Yeah.
trying to be more secure.
I hope he learns it, as in like he doesn't think of it as something that is bad. I hope that he learns that, because it's online also, so I think it's in a way he's also insecure, the things that he couldn't see and everything. I hope that he learns that, from our experience together, that he doesn't really fit online relationships and anything. He realizes things. I hope he learns. I just hope he learns. That's all.
We wish you all the best.
Yeah, wish you all the best. If you're listening to this, I really do. I don't regret it. More like,
Yeah,
it was a good experience.
that's good.
I learned about myself also.
Good for you.
So, yeah.
Good for him.
Hope you're doing well, bro.
Hey,
You know who you are. And then
we don't need to put more emphasis on that.
and then like recently I've been like in contact with someone. It's just more like just a like
Casual one.
casual one.
Casual chats. Yeah.
Yeah, it was okay. It went well, but then I feel like he's insecure in a way that he doesn't realize. Being his thinking is that, because I'm philosophical, so when I talk to him, I speak in a bit more philosophical manner.
Right.
So he thinks that maturity is being
Tied to.
tied to philosophy, but actually, I feel like the way he handled what happened was actually really, not to say really matured, but then the level of maturity is kind of there in a
Alright,
way.
that's good.
He is really playful, but then, like I said, he's insecure. Number one. Number two, he doesn't think that philosophical is not mature. Not being philosophical is not to say you're not mature.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, he told me like, oh, I feel like I'm not matured enough to, be with you. So I was like, okay, you thought about it.
And
You
that's
gave
fair.
yourself time. It's fair. So yeah, it was also another good experience.
Yeah.
In a way, I'm thankful. But he actually lives like about nearby. He's also somewhere
hour
nearby
away,
here.
right?
Yeah,
About
about an
an
hour away or
Yeah.
so, less than. But yeah, I mean, you have a lot to say about him, of course.
I mean, at least as a friend, I've seen his chats, so I would say maybe he is insecure.
Mm-mm.
I'd personally say he either thinks himself less significant or
Yeah.
they're less of,
Mm.
or to say that he's not compatible with you in the first
Yeah.
place, maybe. Because I
True.
really don't see the compatible energy in the
Yeah,
first place.
that is true.
Honestly.
From the way he texts also.
Yeah, from the way he
So-
texts, it really it seems as if what I usually say to Advo here is he's not even trying.
Yeah.
Sometimes when I think about it, at least from a more psychological standpoint or
Mhm.
from a more humanitarian standpoint, he's just not compatible. Basically, maybe he needs someone that's more chill, maybe.
Yeah,
Because you
yeah.
are intimidating to some guys. I would
Yeah,
say.
definitely.
And honestly, some guys would find it very attractive. And
Okay.
he's definitely not the he's probably not the one who's attracted to more intimidating women.
That is true. I
Yeah.
am kind of intimidating.
Because you are a very independent woman to begin with. And you've got again like the philosophy thing. So and maybe he lacks the understanding of philosophy sometimes. So yeah, so he ties that misunderstanding to maturity. So he might find that even so more intimidating.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, in our family, all the women in our family are usually just, taught, raised to be independent. Like,
And that's
we
great.
don't need a man, but it's
You know
okay
what?
to want a man.
It's nice. It's nice to have a
Yeah,
partner, doesn't
so-
it? Yeah.
But it's not something that we
It's
need
not
to
necessary.
live
Yeah.
on.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's it. Now, for
yeah.
the one that affected me the most tragic story, you listen to it and you're like, oh shit, this is some K-drama shit.
Oh yeah. It really came as a surprise. So both of us.
Yeah.
Just like how she didn't expect mine, I didn't expect hers.
Yeah. So, this guy, he's younger than me by 2 years. Okay.
Let's give him a name.
Um,
This is a good
tomato.
guy. Tomato. Yes, tomato sounds good.
Tomato. So,
Tomato.
yeah, tomato. So, he's younger than me. It's been an online thing. He's Korean too.
Again.
I'm sorry. Like, I don't know why Korean guys are attracted. I don't know, maybe not, but
The
but then
Yeah.
he's Korean also. He was nice. We weren't brave enough to reach out to each other. More like he isn't brave enough. He wasn't ready. He didn't think he wants a long distance relationship. So he didn't ask me out. And I respect that. I respect that. So we were just like flirting back and forth. And
It's like the Mandarin I may.
yeah. In Mandarin you called it I may.
Yeah.
And there were a lot of times where I was there for him. He was there for me. There was one time where he got tested. He was positive with COVID.
Oh shoot.
So he had to stay in the ward. So me being
The
my
anxious
usual
ball.
side, my usual
Yeah.
personality, I wasn't into him yet. I was like a bit, I was like a
okay.
bit, but then he had a girlfriend at the time. So I was like,
okay.
okay, the boundaries and stuff.
Yep.
So I was just like checking on him, yo, you okay, everything. And then I guess that kind of like give him a bit of good feeling.
Ah.
And then after that, one day he was like, oh, you wanna go? I wanna go to euthanasia. If some context, euthanasia is medically, suicide, in a way, or medically dying. You can search it up. Euthanasia.
Right.
Yeah. So he was like, oh, something about euthanasia, and I was like, bro, chill. You gotta chill, bro. And then there was again something that he was feeling touched about.
Yeah.
And that I reached out to him and everything. And then there was also a time where the one that impacted him the most was him losing his friend over liver cancer.
Oh no.
So he had a friend who passed away because of liver cancer. So I was kind of there for him in a way.
Yeah.
And then another part was I'm someone who holds my words a lot.
Yeah, you
I
do.
try to walk around eggshells a lot of time.
Yeah, you do.
So I will be like, hey, and then he's like, yeah, what? And then after that I'll be like, oh, nothing. But then he keeps pushing me to open up and talk about it because he knows I have something to say. So he keeps pushing me, and he naturally just opens me up. I felt so much comfortable talking to him. He motivates me, he helps me, and so on and so forth. And then, we flirted, and then suddenly he went to audition to be a trainee. He became a trainee. We lost contact, and then
In
few
the boy
months.
band, right? It's not boy band. Group.
Not really a boy band yet, but then he's like the trainee, training to be one.
Yeah.
They are not confirmed yet.
I see.
So it's like bleak future. And then he after that he lost contact because trainee, you can't contact people outside, blah 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 blah, and all that shit. And then he got into contact. We flirted again. He didn't. He realized that I really like him a lot. Like at that point, it's already love, And same goes for him too. So I told him, I know that we're going to part one day, but it's how you want to spend the time that you have left before you have to part. So he was like, sure, I want to date you. So we dated for like a week, a bit more than a week. After like flirting for God knows how long, more than half a year. And then after that, suddenly broke up. I don't know for what reason. I haven't told him, asked him about him. It was around the time you broke up as well.
Yeah.
So
Talk about coincidence.
yeah, talk about coincidence. So but I was upset, but I didn't really make it show in a way.
At that time.
Yeah, at the time. Because I was like, okay, you know what? There's something that is out of control. But then, you know, I was grateful to have my friends like support me in a way.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, they literally dragged me along with them.
We had to.
Yeah. I'm really grateful to have friends who don't just leave me there. That's for another story. So I just went on with it. We contacted sometimes and everything, and then I got to know one of his friends.
Yeah.
And then we were like really chemistry together, bullying, bullying him.
Bullying
in a
Tomato.
way. Yeah, bullying Tomato. Oh, there was one time. The reason why I said Tomato was because there was one time he scared me so badly. Because he's allergic to tomatoes.
Ah.
He had tomato. He didn't realize he had tomato. And the next day he woke up, he had an anaphylaxis reaction.
Oh, so that's where the story.
Yeah, that's where the story comes about. And even until today, when I hear allergic, the first thing that I thought of is him.
Tomato.
Tomato.
Hey.
So I was like freaking out, you know? But then thankfully he came out fine and everything. There was also a few times where there was like suicide scares. He's a bit suicidal, depressed.
Yeah, I
but then
understand
he
that.
tried to
Overcome it.
He tried to make himself not show it. And yeah. And then but that was before. And then I got into contact with him, blah 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 blah. Then we lost contact again for some months. And apparently he gave his old phone to another person. And the other person got into contact with me saying that he got into a bad accident, a very serious accident.
Yeah.
Because they were all in one group chat, so they posted a notice saying, "Oh, this person Tomato got into a serious accident, and we are looking for someone to take over his work because they have to learn composing and stuff and everything." So that was what he was doing at the time.
Yeah.
So they wanted someone to take over his work, and I told that guy, "Yo, can you find out his friend's contact for me?" So he got me the contact. I contacted his friend. His friend kept me updated throughout the process. Apparently, he got into a car accident, a traffic accident.
Yeah.
He got hit at around 5 a.m. or something. He was going to the grocery store. Convenience store. Convenience
The
store.
conveni.
Yeah, the convenience store. So he got hit by a car. It was quite serious.
Yeah.
He was under he was in surgery for like about 5 hours or so.
5 to 6, I remember.
Yeah, 5 to 6 hours. Yeah. And then after that, he came out. He was unconscious. And then we were like just waiting for him to wake up because his friend told me the doctor said he might wake up, he might not wake up.
Yeah.
I was more afraid of him not waking up.
And that was a very heavy feeling, isn't it?
Yeah, it was a very heavy feeling there. But it didn't hit me that hard yet. It was still okay, you know. But then later when he woke up, his friend told me he couldn't remember me. So what happened was that friend asked Tomato like, "Oh, do you remember
This person.
This person?" He was like, "Do you remember this Nuna?" Because I'm older than us. Yeah,
Edvo.
"Do you remember Edvo Nuna?" And then he was like, "Who's that?" He doesn't even remember his friend who like they have lived together for 6 months.
What is it called again? Selective amnesia?
I think so, probably.
Yeah.
And then they even went on a trip together. Like they literally spent so much time together for the past not 6 months, like yeah, about 6 months.
Yeah.
And he couldn't even remember him. what more someone like me who's like just kind of have a feeling, number one, number two, haven't even met, haven't even called, haven't even video called, and a lot of, things. Um, and then,
But you were really, really worried about him.
yeah, I was really worried about him, he lost his memories over the past 1 year, which is exactly at the time we knew each other for already 1 year. So literally everything is deleted from his mind. Like how you buy a book, you're looking towards the ending. It was
Yeah.
like going to the climax, and it was like, oh, it's going to resolve. You're going to know the ending soon. But then when you flip the page, you found out someone just ripped everything off. And then the story is just hanging
And
there.
when you flip the page back, you see that everything's gone.
That's for him. That's for him. I mean, I could still see our old memories.
Yeah. You have a written copy of it.
Yeah, but it's just between me and him. So
And
I'm
that
the
was
only
really
one.
tragic.
It was really tragic. It
Yes.
hit me so hard. Um, I cried. I cried a lot.
She cried a lot.
He witnessed a lot of, quite a few of our friends witnessed how much I cried over that incident, because he really did impact me so much as a person.
He's a very significant person in your life, I would
He's
definitely say.
he is very significant because he taught me so many things. He changed me a lot. Like
For the better, right?
for the better. Yeah, definitely. Like old me wouldn't be, talking about opening up. I mean, even now I started closing back a bit actually. I don't know
Yeah.
if you realize.
Yes, clearly.
I there are times where, I had my own problems, my own sadness, my own worries, but I just kept them all in
Yeah.
instead of talking them. I think you can notice the difference.
Yeah, it's clear though. I understand it's part of your nature, so I don't want to force you.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, yeah, us as friends, we know that once you're ready, you'll come back
Yeah, but
and open up.
it was really because of him. He really taught me that I should open up more. So
And yeah,
that time of period where I was still in contact with him, I think you notice how much I actually voluntarily talked about my problems, my feelings and everything. But then recently it's been really just, I don't think you realize I've been crying for the last few days actually.
I have the energy though.
Because actually some backstory, my
Yeah,
grand aunt passed away as well
yeah,
recently.
yeah.
So things happen. I did kind of put the blame on myself a bit, and I really couldn't bring it out
Tell
to
people about it.
tell anyone, not even my mom, because sometimes you just,
Get stuck
yeah, you
and
get stuck,
suffocating, doesn't it?
you don't know how to talk about it.
Yeah.
So it really kept me all in.
Yeah.
When I felt those kind of dark feelings, I really want to tell it out. I really want to say it out. But then that there wasn't just all the time, it was him.
Yeah.
I always reached out to him. He was always like there to reply to me instantly and everything. So I guess it's a bit unhealthy that I've become reliant to him.
Little bit.
Yeah, so I really couldn't bring myself to talk it out, but
Yeah.
I've been like crying a lot. I've been a crybaby all along, but it became like a lot more worse.
More prevalent so because things just happen
Yeah, a
suddenly.
lot of things just happen suddenly. Like the slightest thing, like listening to a bit of a sad song and then reading the lyrics itself just triggers me off, and I just started crying, sobbing. Like not even crying, it's just sobbing.
I'm just a sad song.
I just started crying,
Yeah.
crying my eyes out, and then yeah, but it really hit me hard. So I tried to find ways to overcome it, and thankfully, I managed to get it off my chest a bit. Hopefully, by telling my mom. You can write letters instead of texting, so I did that.
Writing letters is a good way.
Yeah, I hope my mom will understand my
Intentions.
the blame that I put on myself.
The pressure that you have.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't tell her. I didn't tell her about like the guy problems. Obviously,
sure.
I will only talk about the blame that I felt, as in like a family thing,
Yeah.
something that she needs to know.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that was my first love, I guess. First relationship, first love.
Tomato.
Tomato. Yeah, very significant. It hit me hard. to be honest, I've acknowledged that we won't cross path anymore.
Yeah.
I
And it's for
acknowledge
the
that.
better.
Yeah, but there are times where I still think about him, where the feeling is not easy to get over. I
Oh,
feel like
definitely. No, no, no. It's not easy at
I
all.
I'm not gonna lie. If he really suddenly just contacts me back, I'm gonna start crying on the spot. I'm definitely gonna start crying on the spot. But I know that's probably not gonna happen.
I'll go get a bucket and rinse it.
So yeah, like my love life has been very chaotic.
Yes, to
Like
say the least.
I try to move on with it. Like I said, thankfully I have friends who will drag me along with things. So the only time where I will cry is when I'm alone. When where I felt that,
More often than not. Yeah.
yeah, that void, that empty feeling.
It just devours you out of nowhere, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
so suddenly it just bam in your face.
Yes, yes.
So, but it was, all my past experiences, all the things that I've experienced with him, it was good. So,
That's lovely to hear.
but I'm not sure if uh I think I might still have feelings for him a bit in a
I think
way.
that's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay.
But then I also have a feeling that my love story, my love life for 2021 has officially ended and closed.
Well, that's good.
Because yeah, I feel like
You'll say reservations for next year.
yeah. But like yeah, I think I had enough of uh, romantic relationships
I
for the
think you were
year.
brave enough to love, and I think that's good.
Yeah, like until the next year, enough. It's time to focus on my friends now that we are back to having meeting friends
So, a
already.
bit more physical classes.
Yeah, a bit more physical classes, simulations, lab sessions, and everything. Now I have friends coming over. So, yeah, I've learned to, heal more in another way.
That's great.
Yeah.
And we thank you, audience, for hearing us out too.
I mean, I can tell, like, my story is very all over the place, number one. Very long.
I think it's okay. I think it's quite well arranged, I would say. Well drafted enough. Yeah.
I mean, I'm a writer for a reason.
Good for you. Good for
But
you.
then, yeah, like, that was my love story.
Got any takeaways for the audience?
Um, Love bravely.
Oh yeah.
Don't let the chances slip away. I think that's one thing that I really
Embrace.
embraced. If don't be afraid of hurting. Go for it.
Hurting or being hurt.
Being
Or both
hurt,
way.
both. Don't
Both,
be
yeah.
afraid of hurting. Don't be afraid of being hurt. Um, from the first relationship, there are a lot of things that I regret. That like we could have had a lot more time together.
Yeah.
From the time before he became a trainee. So, yeah, there are a lot of things that I kind of regret, things
Oh,
that
yeah.
I said to him.
Mm.
So, yeah. But nevertheless, I still feel thankful to him. Like
Oh, that's
he
lovely.
was a presence that really brightened up my days. I said my dark days.
That's nice.
But yeah, it was a bittersweet experience with him.
That's
So
lovely.
just be brave and love, There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing that you would lose. If you feel that's the person, go for it. But then I can't really say that for everyone. So if you want like personal advice, if you want like a more specific advice, feel free to like
Reach
contact.
out. You can reach out to
Feel
us.
free to DM us on Instagram or on YouTube. We'll leave in the comments below. It's fine.
We are compassionate enough people to give you things that you should need. You should be aware of.
Yeah, I mean we don't totally give you the solution, but we guide you.
We will guide you to a better mindset to consider
Yeah,
about.
yeah, like some things that you need to know from our perspective as well.
Yeah, and in this podcast we do talk about mental health. We talk
Mm.
about suicide, and I think I made so on the topic of mental health. So if you do feel suicidal, if you need help, always reach out to your friends. And there are also online or call services like Befrienders, mental health services.
Mm-hmm.
Please reach out and don't take your life.
Yeah, I mean, you need to think twice before you do anything.
And the world is so much better when you are around with us too.
Yeah,
And we love to see you someday as well.
every life is important, even though as yours, like, the world will still carry on, but to people who know you, who personally know you, it's like their world is just there's crash, you know.
And if you feel like nobody loves you yet, don't worry. That we'll let you know that we love you and we love to meet you someday.
You know, I just to add this, I recently have been watching Jolly. They sometimes do reacts with Ref Chris.
Yeah.
So
Christian memes.
yeah. The thing that I like about him was that he'll always say you are loved.
You are loved.
Yeah. So what Ref Chris said really gave me a lot more
Hope.
courage,
Yeah.
hope.
Yeah.
So I want to repeat that. You are loved. You're all loved.
We love you
You're
too.
precious. You're loved.
Hey. Well, I guess
Uh,
that's a good place to wrap up for today.
Yeah, that was a long story and a lot of things to process as well.
Then again, in TF,
We judge.